Welcome to a New Beginning podcast. I'm your host, Maureen Doyle. I'm a certified life coach, author, and coffee enthusiast. Did you know that at any moment you can create a new beginning in your health, relationships, career, or mindset? Each week, I will share simple strategies to transform your life and create new beginnings. Ready to start yours? Let's dive in. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. How is everyone doing? Today, I want to talk about how to fail. Failure, is that something that we should avoid or something that we should get really good at? Most of the time, people talk about how to succeed. Succeeding feels good, and we naturally gravitate towards those good feelings. So it's an easy sell. But how often do we talk about failure and the benefits of failing? As a former teacher, I saw this resistance of failure all around me. Students, as they got older, just avoided it like the plague. They made it mean that they were not good enough if they failed at something, or not creative enough, or just not enough. And over the years, we start to perfect it. We get really good at avoiding failure and then not going after what we want. Or by spending so much time trying to perfect something as to avoid failure. And so why do we shy away from failure? What we're doing is we're actually trying to avoid a feeling of embarrassment or of shame, or just not good enough. And when we fail, we might also be thinking thoughts like, well, that was stupid. Why did I try? I can't make it happen. It's so much easier for others. And then here's the big one. What will other people think? Now, here's the interesting thing about all of this. These are your thoughts. They aren't facts. They're just your thoughts. And all of our thoughts are optional. What if you decided to think something else? What if you decided to think, well, that was brave. I'm glad that I'm trying out new things. Failure is just information. It's just data. And now I know what doesn't work. Let me try something else and see if it does work. What if you had any of those thoughts instead? How would you feel? In order to reach our goals, we have to be willing to fail. Think about it this way. The more you fail, the more you'll learn. And the better you get at failing, the more you will reach your goals, and perhaps even quicker. Trying to avoid failure and trying to do it perfectly to avoid any sense of failure just slows us down. Instead, learn what's not working by failing. That's it. When you fail, you have an opportunity to increase your confidence, to learn more about your goals, or you can use it against yourself, to beat yourself up, to hide, to retreat, and to give up on your goals. Owning a business has really helped me to embrace failure and not make it mean anything negative about me. In the past, if I were to offer a class and only had a few people sign up, or maybe no one sign up, I made it mean something negative about me. I'm not good enough, or no one wants what I have to offer. I took it personally, and I just wanted to hide. I didn't think about my marketing or my subject matter. I just made it mean something about me. Instead, I could have been excited about who did show up. I also could have looked at my marketing from a purely neutral lens, that it was just information. For example, like, what would I do differently next time? What can I learn from this? And then just keep moving forward. To avoid failure, I took way too much time trying to perfect something, and it just really slowed me down. And looking back, if I just did it, if I just put myself out there, learn from doing, learn from failing, I could be further along now. Because trying to avoid failure by being perfect doesn't work, and it really does slow you down. Failure equals learning opportunities. And failure, it's just a skill to develop. How quickly can you fail? It's a measurement of how much you're doing. Here's another thing that really slows us down: failing ahead of time. That is when you really try to avoid failure and the negative feelings that come with it by not doing it at all. You actually fail ahead of time. Think of it this way. If you want to get a job and you get the interview schedule, but prior to the interview, you get so worried about not succeeding, you worry about failing in the interview, that you decide to not even show up for the interview. You cancel it. You have failed ahead of time. The outcome is the same. You didn't get the job, but not from taking the risk of interviewing, but by canceling the interview because of your fear of failing. If you had interviewed and failed, you would be able to learn something from taking that risk. Also, you could be building up your courage muscle by interviewing. But how often do we avoid doing something because of fear of failure? I would always choose taking the risk and potentially failing than failing ahead of time by avoiding doing what it is in order to escape that feeling of embarrassment or shame or not being good enough. Instead, let your success be built on a pile of failures. Don't make your failures mean anything. Well, actually, do make them mean something. That you're going after it, that you're doing something, that you're taking action. So what does failure mean to you? Does it mean something about you? Does it mean your shortcomings? Or is it just information? Think about this. What is your failure tolerance on a scale of 0 to 10? Is it 0, meaning you can't handle it at all? Or is it on the opposite end, positive 10? Be willing to fail again and again until you get the result you want. I call this failing forward. Are you willing to build your failure muscle? Get really good at failing and not make it mean anything about you negatively. Many people avoid failure by playing small, and then they keep their expectations really low. And actually, to create the life of your dreams, it's important to embrace failure, to expect it. Don't be afraid of it. Don't avoid it. Actually, get really good at it. The more you fail, the more you learn, and the higher you climb. Move towards it instead of running away from it. Think about this. How many failures can you do this week? Maybe it's in your business. Maybe it's interviewing, networking, dating, taking any risk and knowing that it might not work out, that you might fail. Then give yourself a high five. Remember, you're in charge of your thoughts and what you want to think about your failure. Have a wonderful week. Talk to you next week. If you enjoyed this podcast, check out my free workbook, 6 Secrets to Getting Anything That You Want. Head over to maureen-doyle.com/6secretsguide to pick up your free copy today.